Boot camp, strength training. What is the difference? They are not the same thing. People come to us all the time who think that boot camp is strength training. Well, I go to this, this boot camp class and they have weights there, so I'm working out with weights. Or they listen to one of my videos and I'll talk about strength training and they're sitting here saying, yeah, why would, I go to the class at the gym and we use dumbbells there. Those things are not the same, and I'm going to explain it in this video. So, what is boot camp? Boot camp is basically, in a nutshell, is basically high intensity cardio. Sometimes it's high intensity cardio. High intensity cardio that involves weights. That's what that is. So those big fitness places, the 45 place, the fruit place, that is basically what that is. It's glorified cardio and they sprinkle weights in there. That's essentially what that is, right? So what is strength training now? Strength training is having a structured program where you utilize compound movements or movements that utilize a lot of muscles at once. You have that routine and you continue that routine with progression. So every week you try to beat your last previous record and you try to get stronger over time. And the goal of those sessions are to actually sculpt and change your physique. Boot camp kind of has the same idea, but you're not going to get that effect because when you do a boot camp class, say it's a 30-minute, 45-minute class, whatever it is, hour class, you burn 300 calories. Congratulations, you burn 300 calories. But with a proper structured weight training program, strength training program, you'll gain muscle over time, and that's going to alter your metabolic rate. It's going to alter how your body digests foods, and it's going to alter the way you look when done correctly. So that's the major key, is when done correctly. The problem with those boot camp classes and those big classes are the way it works is the way the fitness model works. It's anywhere between, we'll give it the rough and I'll be a little nice, anywhere between 10 and 30 people per session. Now, when you have 10 to 30 people in that session, you're usually going to have one coach or one trainer or whatever to those people. What that means is you're at a very, very high risk for injury because it's a one size fits all. So I think of like a fit of cross place, right? Those places have 20 to 30 people in a room all doing big compound movements, and think about it. How can one coach realistically watch 30 people's form? It's impossible. There's no way it's going to happen. So you're at a high risk of injury, especially with some of those modalities. If you watch one of the videos and you say, okay, I'm going to start piling on some weight because I need to get stronger. So you start putting more weight on the bar. You're doing all these movements. No one's watching you. Maybe your form gets out of whack and boom, an injury. And what happens? You get injured, you can't work out, so then your nutrition falls because everything goes hand in hand, right? You start working out, your nutrition's good. You stop working out, your nutrition may falter, and it's a vicious cycle. So with strength training done correctly in an environment that fosters that, you're gonna have someone who's gonna be on your ass watching you and figuring out, okay, hey, look, keep your chest up, Mary, or, sit in your heels when you squat, or keep that core braced when you're doing that. And maybe in a bigger class, they might scream those things out, but it's generic, which kind of brings me to my next point. Those boot camp classes are one size fits all. You sign up, everybody comes in, everybody does the same workout. That's a problem. If you have a shoulder issue, if you have a back issue, whatever, knee issue, doesn't matter what it is, there's no modification made for you. I can't even begin to tell you the number of people that we get constantly that come from those different fitness modalities who hurt themselves really bad. The one that blows my mind the most is, I understand why, because people's forms are horrible on it, is the rower. People use the rower and hurt their backs all the time. I was actually a rower in high school. I was on the rowing team, a crew team, and there's a special way to use that erg machine. And if you do it incorrectly, rounding your back and stretching forward and just not doing it, pulling like that, you're gonna definitely hurt yourself. But majority of the injuries that I see from those places is that, so I would definitely be careful of that. And that's neither here nor there. But the point is like I'm trying to tell you guys, you need that structured strength training program because that is the program that's really gonna alter your life because you're actually gonna be putting on muscle and getting stronger over time. That strength is going to carry over to your normal life. When you carry your groceries from the car to the house, you're going to be able to carry all the bags and you're going to be more fit. Now, most people will argue with me and say, hey, but that includes cardio. When you strength train, that's not cardio. And yes, to a certain extent, you may be correct. But don't tell me that strength training done correctly is also not cardiovascular work. If I take you through a set of 12 reps done properly on a squat, you should be breathing heavy. No one, when done with a proper intensity, no one should be doing a set of 12 on squats, walking away like nothing happened. And again, this comes back to a properly structured program. If you have a properly structured program, that should be hard, right? So let's say the first time I did squats, I did 100 pounds. Let's just, for argument's sake, I did 100 pounds. Now, 2 weeks later, I did 110. 3 weeks later, 3 weeks after that, I'm doing 150 pounds. 4 weeks after that, I'm doing 180 pounds, all for 12 reps. So that weight, I've gotten stronger, but that weight also has gotten harder, and my intensity level has gone up. So by the time I'm doing 180 for 12, it should be pretty difficult versus the 100 for 12. So you have to look at it like that. That's also a cardiovascular work, but in a totally different way. But again, it has a lot more benefits. And this is the thing that you're not going to get from those boot camp classes, because the weights only go up to a certain point. So let's say some of those only have 50-pound dumbbells. Okay? And you may be thinking this, oh my God, 50-pound dumbbells is heavy. But let's say you're doing squats. You work your way up to 50-pound dumbbells there. That's great. You're at the highest level. But what happens? You start to cap off. Now you can't progress anymore. Whereas with a structured strength training program, you're able to push that to the next level. 55-pound dumbbells or 54 more reps. But again, this is all structured. It happens for a reason. Those places, it's just random. A lot of those fitness modalities claim, this is the best part about it, is claim the randomness of their workouts is what gives people results. That is the worst thing ever. You should never really be altering your routine like that, because you're not going to get stronger. Your body, the whole thing of you need to confuse your body to get results. BS. You want to be very, very efficient at what you're doing in order to get there. So let's say, for example, squats are the best exercise you could do for your overall body. I'm just going to say that as an example. It may be true, maybe not true, but let's go with that, right? So if squats are one of the best exercises that you can do, that's a true fact actually. If squats are one of the best exercises you can do, and if I keep getting stronger with squats over time, I'm going to get better, I'm going to get stronger, everything is going to improve. So I need to just focus on that movement. But if I go a squat 1 week, a lunge 1 week, something else another week, I'm not getting efficient at that movement. So if we compare that to basketball, if I wanted to get better at shooting free throws, I'm not going to practice three-pointers or dunking the ball. That's not going to help me. I need to practice free throws. I need to practice warming up, dribbling, shooting, my stance at the line. It's the same thing with squats or those other movements. So squats are one of the best exercises you can do. So if you practice that over time, you're going to get better at it. You're going to become more efficient at it. But if I have you 1 week doing squats, the next week doing squat jumps, and this, and this, you're never going to get there. So that whole thing of confusing your body is just a recipe for disaster on so many different levels. So really, what is the difference between a proper structured strength training program versus a boot camp class? One, high risk in doing those boot camp classes, and two, those boot camp classes are one size fits all. Whereas when you work with someone on a smaller level like that, you're going to get more customization to your program. Mrs. Jones comes into the gym today, says, hey Anthony, my shoulder's bothering me today. All right, on tap, we were supposed to do some bench press today. Let's see how that goes. All right, bench press is bothering you. Let's modify this and make it a little bit better for you so you can continue making progress. Whereas if you walked into one of those places that I mentioned and your shoulder's bugging you, all right, Mrs. Jones, just go lighter today. But that might not be the right answer. Or you might not even get a chance to tell them because there's so many people in the room. So if you're going to one of those places or using one of those fitness modalities and you like going to them, I would definitely consider that your form of cardio. So I've mentioned this on previous videos before. The way to ultimately transform your physique is 3 to 4 full body structured strength training programs a week, right? That's how many times you should be doing it, structured throughout the week. So that's your base. That should be the baseline of what you need to do. So do that first. That's your baseline. If you like those other fitness modalities, sprinkle them in between. I'm not saying you can't do them, but just be aware of what they are and what it is. If you're doing that thinking you're going to alter your physique, it's not going to happen. So put that structured program into your routine, sprinkle those things in between, and watch the big difference that you get. If you're interested in finding and following and getting a structured program, just click that link below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.